Salutations, respected viewers. This is George from Ireland on St Giles Street in Oxford. Behind me is this illustrious pub known as the Eagle and Child. Well, in Oxford parlance, it's called the Bird and Baby. So another way to say Eagle and Child. And it's a very characterful pub, dating back some centuries. And it's got several rooms to it, most notably the Rabbit Room. They've got a few rabbits on the wall, but also allusion because of stories about rabbits written in there. So, why is it so well known? Well, this is a watering hole of various Oxford dons. In Oxford and indeed Cambridge University, a don is a slang word for a lecturer or professor. Anybody who teaches at these universities is called a don. It's not rude, but it's just informal to say he or she is a don. It's nothing to do with a mafia don. It's derived from the Oxford, from the Latin dominus, like master. Anyhow, this pub is best known because the Inklings met here from 1939 to 1962. It was an informal literary circle who would foregather here a few times a week over beer to discuss their writing and just socialise, to unwind. And the best known members of this group were C.S. Lewis, J.R.R. Tolkien and Charles Williams, all of them dons, all of them writers. J.R.R. Tolkien, he was born in South Africa to British parents, but South Africa doesn't seem to claim him as a writer, and he returned to this country as a toddler. He went to King Edward School, Birmingham, the most illustrious school in the United Kingdom's second city, and then to Oxford University. Anyway, he was a lecturer in Norse languages, which is why his book, The Hobbit, has got so many allusions to Norse mythology, with trolls and hobbits or underground tunnels and elves and so forth. Then coming on to C.S. Lewis, Jack, as he's always known to his family, he was a philosophy don here. Obviously he'd read the classics and was fascinated by Christian theology, so he wrote his Chronicles of Narnia and their allegories for Christianity, like Aslan the Lion, representing Jesus Christ coming back, emancipating people. Wrote it in the Second World War when a lot of children were evacuated, children sent away from the major cities because these conurbations are going to be bombed by the Luftwaffe, sent to the countryside, made to stay with other families. And remember, the children in the Chronicles of Narnia, the first one, my goodness, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, they sent to stay with a retired professor deep in the countryside. Bit of a reference to him. He wasn't that old when he wrote it, he was in his 40s, but 40 then was much older than he is now. And I can't remember, there's The Last Battle, that's about Armageddon, and there are also some moral quandaries they faced. He was very much a God-bothering chap. His brother Warren used to come along, though he wasn't a writer, and Warren was a functioning dipsomaniac. If you watch Shadowlands, that magnificent film about C.S. Lewis's relationship with Joy Davidman, there's one allusion to Warren having a drinking problem, and he survived his brother by about 10 years. Because they shared a house. So Joy Davidman then became part of this, C.S. Lewis's wife in his declining years. Though unfortunately he outlived her, though he was considerably older. Who else was there? Charles Williams. So there was no membership as such. There was just a coterie who used to come for readings and so on. The coat of arms, it comes from the coat of arms of the Earl of Derby, a very prominent aristocrat in these parts. Well, a bit further north really had most of his estates. I mean, there'd been an Earl of Derby who was Prime Minister. It's the Stanley family, been prominent since the 15th century. 1485, the Battle of Bosworth Field, that was really determined by Lord William Stanley. Anyway, if you come more to this angle, you'll see that special board suspended. No. In front of the pub, the board, with a sign. Perhaps you see the eagle carrying away the child on the front of the Eagle and Child pub. So go in, it's very much an old world pub with a snug, as in small rooms, deliberately a little bit cramped, very cosy, and you're going to have semi-privacy, a little bit of intimacy there, and they serve decent provender as well. So old world, lots of ales on offer. It's not your uber cool wine bar. It's fairly authentic, nor is it sort of a swirly carpet that's got beer stains permanently encrusted in it. So it's characterful, it's distinctive, it's unique. Highly recommended the Eagle and Child if you come to Oxford.